Alrighty then. Welcome back to the JCG Show. Go ahead and grab your coffee, grab your drink, grab your tea, whatever you want to drink. It's on you. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the Jesus Christ's Glorious Show. Today, hopefully, we'll get to learn something else together. And remember, don't be a hater. Love thy neighbor. Make sure you go to this YouTube channel, subscribe, show them some love. Tell them that the JCG Show sent you. Or you can tell them that God sent you. I don't care. But give the credit to one of them. Okay? Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And go to this channel and do the same thing. Let's get rolling, baby.
Was catching 9 mil in like an inch of the gummy bear. Point blank. Executioner style just stops it.
I've also learned they're impervious to fire. We tried torching it. We sat there for like a minute trying to get this thing to melt, and we just gave up because it looks so boring on camera.
I walked up with a 30 rounds of 22 and a Glock switch and went, one gummy bear caught all 30 22 rounds. And Zach's like, we're feeding these to children? What the?
This is Menkaure. I show you different images because we have used the different...
What? Did y'all just hear what they just said? We're feeding this to children. A gummy bear caught a crap ton of bullets, bro. I ain't never seen a video like that before. Is this man not bad to the bone or what? Make sure you go over there and subscribe. Show him some love. Let's continue.
Satellites. So also changing the satellites, we are retrieving the same results. That is crucial because we are intercepting the so-called academic and scientific method. This is another orientation of the Sphinx. We are now ready to build a three-dimensional model of what we have found, and we have designed 3 specific areas where there are present a lot of shafts. So we wanted to know more about these shafts here. We can understand that there is a room, very clear here, and inside the room there are present things. So we can also observe what there is inside the room. There are targets.
You use it to pry out this lid, and inside is this little shiny ball or something.
Okay, obviously this exact object featured in this video is not real. However, if this was real, the person recording would undeniably die. The video that you guys just watched shows a replica of something referred to as the Demon Core. In it, we can see this small ball of metal sitting between 2 larger half spheres. And when this half sphere falls and makes contact with this one, and the small ball is contained on the inside, the spheres all turn blue. The Demon Core, though, itself was completely real. The inner core was made out of plutonium, and then these 2 half spheres were made out of beryllium.
Ugh.
I got all of this for $30. It's an app called Whatnot. Download it right now. You just search what you're looking.
Don't download it.
Was completely real. The inner core was made out of plutonium, and then these 2 half spheres were made out of beryllium. Without getting into too much detail, the plutonium core could not be completely covered by the 2 half spheres, otherwise it would reach supercriticality, and this would release a lethal amount of radiation. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened to one scientist by the name of Louis Slotin, who accidentally let go of a screw.
I was just kidding, by the way. The Whatnot app, is a place where you can buy stuff, and it's kind of like Amazon, Wish app, all these other different apps and whatnot, basically, that you can go on and find really cheap stuff and buy it. You just have to be careful what you buy and make sure you pay attention to the 5-star reviews. Make sure there's a decent amount of them. And if there's not a whole lot of them, make sure you read the descriptions of what people say. That way you can tell the difference of a real person's point of view versus an AI bot's point of view. You know what I mean? All right, let's keep going.
Driver holding the 2 spheres up, and he died.
Microplastics are almost everywhere except the most remote tribes and tardigrades, but new research is showing that the solution to them might have just been under our noses this whole time. Now, these microplastics have entered the environment in 4 main ways, and they've been around for so long that they're actually part of almost all of us when tested. This is a huge and growing area of research, as some studies have linked these to infertility, heart problems, and disruption of hormones. The issue, though, is that thus far we haven't come up with an effective way to actually remove these from our environment, especially without introducing another potentially toxic substance. substance like chasing our own plastic tail. Some new research may have changed that, and it's all thanks to tamarind, okra, and fenugreek. The extracts of these form this gel-like substance binding up to 90% of microplastics in water and causing them to sit to the bottom, becoming easier to remove and being more effective than industrial polymers. The ways you can manage your microplastic load are avoiding plastic packaging, using reusable metal containers, tap water instead of bottled water, using a washing machine with a filter or catch, and opting for natural rather than synthetic clothes. Ready for some spice?
Well, I'll be darned. I learned something today. How about you? Let's keep going.
Water?
Good news, everyone. Cephalopods have joined the ranks of crows, chimpanzees, and kind of dogs in passing the marshmallow test. If you're unfamiliar with the marshmallow test, it's a Stanford experiment in which a marshmallow is placed in front of children, and they were asked to wait a certain period of time in which they would get 2 marshmallows, but if they ate the first marshmallow, they would not get a second. In order for these cephalopods called cuttlefish to do this experiment, they placed them in a tank with glass doors. In front of one of them was a dead chunk of shrimp. In front of the other one was a live grass shrimp. They used shapes to indicate whether or not the door would open or they would have to wait, and they learned it quite quickly. Human children and dogs struggle with this. That means that one of the oldest animal lineages on our planet has finally caught up with a 6-year-old child. Cuttlefish came on the scene in around 360 million years ago. They look a lot like an octopus, but they diverged from octopi 160 million years ago, and they're notable for having 10 legs rather than 8. They can also change the color and texture of their skin at will. Here's one pretending to be some rocks. Here's one pretending to be sand, and some grass. Look at that goober. They actually have a beak, and it can also be venomous. That looks wrong to look at. Cephalopods, in fact, are some of the oldest animals on our planet. Their ancestor, likely something that looks a lot like a nautilus, which are living fossils, came around in 500 million years ago. That means that cephalopods are older than sharks, they're older than trees, they're older than the North Star, and they're older than Saturn's rings. Oh, and a word to the wise, if you're allergic to shellfish, you can't eat squid or octopus because of the beak. I found that out the hard way when I was served a dish with whole octopus in it. Scientists have discovered a paradox in evolutionary biology that may end up becoming a new law and potentially help cure aging. The idea is selectively advantageous instability. You see, not all animals age, but humans do. We have a
Really? Tell me more.
pre-programmed system in which we go from being young to being old, and in the process, our telomeres start to fall apart. If there's a mutation in the proteins that protect our telomeres, we can end up with diseases like progeria, in which children experience rapid aging in the first few years of life. One of the early proposed solutions to why we age is the grandmother hypothesis, which is that we live to old age past our genetic ability to reproduce so that we can help take care of the next generation. There may, however, be an advantage to the instability that causes us to age and ultimately get cancer. But let's think about animals that don't age for a second, and that includes jellyfish. These little guys could potentially live forever if they didn't end up expiring from predation or disease. Similarly, while jellyfish don't age, neither do crocodiles. They too could continue living, hypothetically, forever. But you may also notice that they look extraordinarily similar to what they did millions of years ago. In fact, an 18-million-year-old crocodile ancestor looks very similar to the crocodiles we have today. This is because animals like this have very sophisticated DNA repair mechanisms that allow them to live indefinitely without aging. This is also why they haven't changed much. They're not experiencing a lot of mutations, so they're not evolving very quickly. This is in contrast to what we see with mammals like dogs. We made chihuahuas in just a few thousand years. Animals like mammals who have rapidly changing environments rely on a certain amount of uncertainty and mutation in order to have successful offspring. The ability to change and have offspring that have different traits than you are is what led to this beautiful proliferation of different kinds of species on Earth. We have the stocky and fluffy cats that live in cold climates. That's a snow leopard, by the way. And the long and sleek cats that...
This has to be one of the wildest stories I've ever heard of. It is hands down one of my favorite stories I've ever told on Today Learn Science. And it's, of course, a vulture murder mystery. This is part of my annual spooky science series, so make sure you're following for the rest. But let's get into it. Nestled within South Mumbai is one of India's most exclusive neighborhoods called Malabar Hill. And yet, no amount of money in the world will get you a piece of land within these 52 acres that surround this hill, because at the very center of this forbidden forest is a 300-year-old Tower of Silence, a funerary tower where the Parsi community practices sky burial. In the Zoroastrian tradition, they believe to ensure peaceful passage after death, the body must be disposed of by exposure, aka scavenged clean by birds of prey.
Ugh. Y'all don't play poker, that's gambling, that's wrong.
by birds of prey, typically vultures. This is partly because of their belief in Nasu, an evil spirit that inhabits the body after death, but also because it's considered
Gambling leads to greed, and then it leads to addiction, and then it becomes a sin because it becomes an idol. Let's continue.
the most environmentally friendly death ritual. No soil contamination from burial, no air pollution from cremation. Meanwhile, vultures can pick a body clean within hours before decomposition sets in. This both solves the issue of Nasu and the body gets recycled back into nature via the vulture. Thus, burials were done this way for nearly 3,000 years until 2006. What happened in 2006? That year, this woman named Dunbaria snuck up to the tower to see her mother's body. What she saw haunted her forever and made headlines around the world. Scattered around the tower were fully intact bodies, bloated beyond recognition and decomposing. The news called for a reevaluation of Zoroastrian death rituals, but the bird biologist had a different question. Where were all the vultures? That's when Dr. Munir Virani entered the picture, a world-renowned raptor biologist from Nairobi. He discovered something shocking. 95% of India's vulture population was just gone. Tens of millions of birds were just dead. This became the fastest declining bird species in recorded history. But here's what made it a murder mystery. The birds looked healthy, good body fat, no visible signs of illness, yet they were all dropping dead. So what is the worst case scenario here? What happens if a vulture species goes extinct in an ecosystem? Vultures get a bad. They are a vital keystone species. They are the environmentalists of the animal world and the archivists if you saw my last video. By eating dead things, they remove pathogens and toxins by consuming a carcass before it decays and before it can spread disease. So this was a serious murder mystery that needed to be solved ASAP. So Dr. Munir necropsied.
Well, I think this is going to get to the fact that they're not supposed to be eating humans because last I checked, those humans are from dust you came, dust you will return, which means that we're, if I'm not mistaken, that means you should be buried when you die in a grave. Yeah. All right, let's go.
Dead vulture and found something really bizarre. There was a thick white paste coating every internal organ of the vulture. And it tested positive for uric acid, which is essentially bird droppings, and is a telltale sign of kidney failure. But how are millions of vultures in India dying from kidney failure? Then Munir realized that he was asking the wrong question. He needed to stop asking what caused the failure and start asking what were the vultures eating? And the answer was cows. Turns out that the vast majority of cattle farmers in India were giving their cows diclofenac, an NSAID like ibuprofen to ease their joints and pain. Diclofenac is a great pain reliever, but it can do a number on your kidneys if taken chronically. So these vultures were eating dead cows with diclofenac pumping through their veins, which caused their kidney failure. But why did this only happen in India? Hindus don't eat beef, so if the humans weren't eating the cows, then it was up for grabs for the vultures. Once the connection was made, veterinary diclofenac was banned in India, and now the vulture population has stabilized, thanks to the great detective work by Dr. Munir Virani. The wildest part about all this is that a 3,000-year-old...
Okay. I was wrong, but that at the same time, I kind of wasn't wrong. I mean, it still says in the Bible, from dust you came, dust you will return. So technically, that still means that we should be in a grave. Just because they weren't eating us doesn't mean that, we should still be in a grave. Doesn't mean that we shouldn't still be in a grave. Return back into the dust where we came from. But let's continue. Good work on that one, by the way. That's amazing. I'm glad that I learned something else today. We're just learning, baby. Let's go.
Death ritual helped solve an ecological mystery and reminded us that even the smallest chemical could collapse an entire species. Follow me for more spooky science series all October long, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for a very special Halloween episode at the end of this month.
Another perfect example of nature being both profoundly beautiful and absolutely horrifying at the same time. It's that strange balance where wonder and terror actually exist side by side. It's still fascinating to watch either way.
The future of AI is about to get physical. This floating head that you see above me isn't an AI-generated video or image. It's an actual, real, animatronic, emoting, gesticulating head that is hooked up to a large language model that is trained to emote and make eye contact and do various things as it's...
Bro, that is absolutely scary. Scary looking and real looking. I had to pause it with it winking at me, didn't I? Oh, gosh. I guess the synthetic robo bodies ain't that far away, is it now, people? Yeah. Wake up.
Speaks. It looks frightening, like a disembodied head, but it's probably the future of AI technology. As AI gets more physical, you're going to see more things like this Chinese company that developed this ultra lifelike robotic face. And the idea is to make humanoid robots more approachable and more relatable. The company is called Headform, and right now what they're kind of specializing in is they'll sell you this elf model face. There's let's see what their products are. I haven't even explored this page too much. Yeah, look at the details.
What do you really think they're going for? They're going to sell these things for? At the beginning, that's going to make them a whole lot of money. I'll give you a hint. It begins with lustful thoughts. Need I say any more? I didn't think so. Let's keep going.
On the lips, on the hair, on every single thing about this to make it just, it handles water apparently. It just looks like that of a normal person. And I think that this poses an interesting question because one of the reasons we don't currently trust AI is because they're kind of in that uncanny valley in between zone. But what happens when they begin to look more human and trustworthy?
Now, there's a new law that our children now have to put their phones inside of pouches when they go to school. Pouches, something like this. Now, this pouch right here is made by Yonder, and you can see you just slide the phone in it, close it up, and then it's locked.
This charger actually repairs your phone while charging, and everyone thinks it's too good to be true. Nobody believed me at first.
Slide the phone in it, close it up, and then it's locked. Now, do you know what make this pouch?
Oh, yeah, that's something new to talk about. You know, my daughter's been going, my daughter's the only one that's going to actual school right now. And they won't even let them kids have a cell phone. You know what, son? My daughter's going to have a cell phone. Because if them teachers are doing some dirty things or being unprofessional or, you know, playing favoritism or anything like that, I need my daughter to be able to get in touch with me. Hit that like button if you got any agreements to that at all. Because they take your kid's cell phone away. And they don't come home from school. And you just let that happen. Well, because you didn't stand up and say something, you just lost your kid. Yep. But Jacob, we could get the Apple iPhone thing that goes on their wrist. We could get trackers and put it in their backpack. You think they're going to carry that backpack everywhere they go? No. It gets put down in the classroom when they get in there. And I can't even get my daughter to wear an Apple Watch, bro. Or a Galaxy Watch. Plus, I can't afford it, dog. Why would I want to pay $400 to $600? Oh, wait, to $800 for a watch that can't do everything that my phone can do? Enough said. Let's keep going.
So interesting? Of course you don't, but I'm here to tell you now. Let's talk about it. Not only do these pouches lock, they also act as Faraday cages. Do you know what that means? Well, it says here, yes, the Yonder pouch functions as a Faraday container, using specialized fabric to block all wireless signals, including cell, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. thereby preventing the device from receiving calls or texts. The signal blocking capability is the primary mechanism by which the Yonder pouch creates a phone-free space by making the device...
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Now, why on earth would they make your child put the phone that you bought them for safety purposes inside of a pouch that renders their phone useless? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because school has turned into a prison. And because the world is living in such comfort and ease, it's just been going on right up under your noses and you ain't been paying attention. Oh, goodness gracious. La 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 la. What are you parents doing, bro? You just gonna let your school board make this happen? I'm gonna be taking my kid out of school if I hear about that crap. They ain't going to school like that. It's already bad enough that they're teaching things in school that aren't even relevant to the world. The only thing your kid needs to know is reading, math, and how to write. The rest of it comes from knowing those three things. If you know how to read, you know how to spell. There you go. All right, let's keep going. Again, if you agree with me, please hit that like button. Share this with somebody. Let's go. Don't be a hater. Love thy neighbor.
It's unusable during its locked state. That means that they receive no signal. They send no signal. If those phones are in pouches, you will never know where your child is at any time unless that pouch is open and that phone is taken out.
We are officially entering the AI era for businesses. But the big question is this: what does becoming an AI enterprise actually mean? Here is a super tactical example. Everyone has heard of Indeed. They're the #1 job site in the world. Their goal is to connect job seekers with great jobs and employers with great candidates. But they had a problem. Over 20% of their support requests from employers had a similar issue: questions about account setup and job verification. These questions kept coming up during onboarding and were causing pauses and delays in getting new jobs posted. And this meant Indeed's team was spending way too much time on administrative tasks. Not great. But here's where AI came in to make the whole process much, much smoother. Indeed worked with Salesforce to activate Agentforce, their agentic AI platform that enables businesses to build, customize, and deploy autonomous AI agents. And this is a huge deal because it brought up...
Bro, let me tell you about my experience with Indeed, okay? I have gone to 5 interviews at some point with the Indeed app. I get there, and these people tell me, well, I don't have nothing scheduled for an interview on here. But ma'am, the Indeed thing says that my interview was supposed to be at this time right now. And I wasted my gas to come up here to have this interview. Well, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. We're not really hiring. What? Why do you have... I'm confused. I don't understand. I don't get it. Then why do you have a spot available on Indeed? I'll tell you why they got a spot available on Indeed. Because they got to show the government that they are falsely trying to hire people. There's a company out there on the beach. Panama City Beach, right? It's called Outlaw Rentals. Their owners were hiring people left and right. And they were firing them. Some of them the first day. Some of them, well, most of them, they lasted a week. And then they'd fire them. But here's the messed up part. they'd make you sign a piece of paper that says you can't work for any of the competition for 2 years. Huh. You know, I signed it because I figured I'd never need to work for another rental company again, because not of that kind of rental company. They rent out like golf carts and dune buggies and three-wheeled vehicles, scooters, bicycles, motorcycles, stuff like that. They just they took advantage of me for sure. I was doing great. I didn't have no issues at all. I was selling. I mean, I was getting cars rented left and right. Everybody that came into the parking lot, they didn't leave without renting something because I talked them into it. I made them a good, at least, I'd say $10,000 to $15,000 in that 1 week. I come into work one day and they tell me, "Oh, you're fired." Wow, what did I do wrong? They couldn't give me a straight answer. They just come up with excuses to change the subject. And, yeah. I don't know how long that went on. It's probably still going on to this day, but I just figured I'd say something about that, just in case anybody out there wants to play the drama game and start lowering that 5-star rating to do. You know what I'm saying? Because you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us, right? Now, I'm not telling you to hate the people, but just as the Father does with his children, don't be a hater. Love thy neighbor. Teach him a lesson through the one thing that can teach him a lesson: their ratings. All right, let's keep going.
Powerful AI solution to the table, revolutionizing the existing support framework. Before, Indeed's users would have to wait for a customer service rep to come back to them with answers that were fairly easy to solve. But now those same questions go to an AI-powered experience that can find the right answer much more quickly. AI customer support can search intelligently across all of Indeed's data and actually help the user in real time. This is a night and day experience for the end customer. And here's the big takeaway. This isn't about replacing human workers. It's about the AI freeing up the human workers to spend their time on much more critical issues. And that's what AI will do for businesses. Agents will take care of the repetitive stuff so that humans can focus on everything else. Indeed is officially an...
No. AI does nothing but make people mad, especially when you call up a company and you hear, "Hi, my name is Amy. I'm a virtual assistant. I want to talk to customer service. I did not understand you. Can you repeat that? I want to talk to customer service." Okay, I understand that you would like to talk to customer service. Can you please give me a brief description as to why you would like to talk to customer service? Oh, blah, 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 blah. I do have the ability to check your bills and stuff like that as well. Are you sure you would like to be transferred to a customer service agent? Blah, 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 blah. Yes. You guys get the drift, bro. It's really annoying to go through that crap when you can just go right to talking to somebody and, you know, getting the information that you need so you can pay your bill or whatever the case is. Because, I don't know, with AT&T, I've tried to pay my bill with the quite a few times, and through the AI and whatnot, and it says that my bill is paid, but the money never leaves my account. And then I'm just sitting there scratching my head, and I go into the store to go pay my bill. They tell me that my bill's paid, and I'm like, no, it's not. My money's still in my account. What's going on? I don't know, sir. You'll have to wait till I guess the system clears. Well, that's a pain in the butt. All right. But you know what y'all should do when they say that? You should just go up in there and record them. And be like, no, I got a recording saying right here that you said my bill was paid and I'm good to go. You said I had nothing to worry about. You just took full responsibility of my bill by saying that. Thank you so much. And then you walk out free and clear. All because of the inconvenience that the customer service operative in the store didn't understand. You learned something. Use it. Let's go.
Agent Force Company. And this is just one small example of how AI can be used. So if you're wondering how you can infuse AI into your business, explore what Agent Force can do for you.
Children are seeing straight up corn on TikTok, and even worse. People are freaking out at the moment because on TikTok, even with safety settings turned on, kids are seeing some pretty terrible things. We have known for a while about the filters and people being able to hide things on the app, and that's why they introduced their safety mode for younger people. Obviously, bad stuff like this shouldn't be on the platform at all, but with restricted mode on, it restricts it even more, so they can't even see other things. Now, a test was done recently where a number of different people set up accounts, put them in privacy mode, and said that they were 12 years old. And still, like normal, things hidden in filters, comments, and photos. It is still happening, and it's still a big issue where people are able to hide explicit images inside small photos within the screen. Somehow, the algorithm is still not picking these things up, which means it is getting shown to these kids, which is just not right. As you can imagine, a lot of parents are freaking out about this because they've put their kid's phone in this privacy mode, and then there's still bad stuff coming up on the app. So let me know your thoughts on what you would do to tackle this, and I'll keep you updated.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
Tail lights for a trailer. Didn't nobody tell me. I had to figure it out. You had to match his butt.
What you would do to tackle this, and I'll keep you updated.
You have to wonder why we keep seeing things like this pop up so often. It's awful, don't get me wrong, but I think I might have a theory. Look at what's happening in the UK right now. Digital IDs are on the way, and just a few months ago we had nationwide restrictions on access to adult content. But why would the government stop there, you know? You got to think about it. If they can engineer situations and make it nearly impossible to access the internet without proving you're over 18, that suddenly becomes a perfect excuse to push digital IDs even harder. It's actually a classic playbook. Manufacture a problem, then roll out the solution. By sprinkling in disturbing content here and there and blaming it on other people, they get the public to demand more protection for their children. They come after the children. And when that moment comes, they'll already have the solution ready, just by some miracle circumstance. Digital ID verification. And from there, it's a very short slide from verifying your age for adult sites to needing that same ID for everything online, just to access a computer. Is that too far-fetched, or is it a reasonable prediction, given what we've already seen?
If you had a friend and you did...
Alrighty, I want to thank you guys for watching. That's another 30 minutes out down the drain. I think we learned a couple things today. And, I love you guys. You're all legends. Please go to the channel, subscribe to this guy. Don't forget to show the same love to this channel as well. God bless you. Once again, you're legends. And don't forget my motto. Don't be a hater. Love thy neighbor. We'll catch you in the next one.